everybody. Here we are on a Saturday afternoon. Hope everybody's well. And I thought what I'd do today is do a little bit of a walkthrough of this little stencil here. When I say little, this is probably one of the biggest stencils I've ever done, and it covers quite a lot. So yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of a walkthrough of it, and I'll do you a couple of demonstrations just to show you how it gets going. Now, of course, I'm not going to be able to do every single thing in the book because, as you can see, there's quite a few different bits and pieces going on here. But I'll get through a couple, I think, and so you can see where it goes. First things first then, of course, you've got your booklet. And then you've got, now I say stencil, you've got two stencils here, and they're sort of letter size. They're just shy of A4, so quite large. And, of course, I've got them all numbered. It's really important that with the stencils, if it says on the instructions, please number them, because this is going to make your life so much easier. So how do you number them? Let me just have a look. Sometimes it's on the back, sometimes it's inside. Here we go, look. Oh, let's do it that way. There you go. So you both your stencils there, you've got numbers showing you where everything needs to be, okay? And on the back there, look, we've got some pictures looking at all the different things we've got going on in here. So, all right then. When you get your instructions as well, you've got this sort of extra page. This is giving you some extra instructions because it's one of those things I just wanted to do another one, and the booklet had sort of been dealt with, so we sort of put you it in anyway. And that's for the tall tower. So what else do we have inside here? Looking at this then, the coffin house. Pretty sort of, when I say straightforward, you know by the shape. It's that kind of thing. Really nice, and it's got some really sort of strange plants lurking around in the garden. Then we've got the lockkeeper's cottage. And I think as well, although these are toadstools, you'll notice the shape's slightly different at the bottom. But I think, honestly, our toadstools are probably the most drawn out of our shapes. So maybe I'll not do that one. Look, even how the tree is drawn there. So yeah, you've got a bit of a river as well, bubbling, so got that one. And then, of course, the Scream House. Just by how it looks, it says Scream House completely, doesn't it? And you've got, of course, some lovely little lanterns kicking around. The residential annex, a.k.a. the asylum. So there's loads in here, isn't there? Then you've got, oh, look, all those instructions. The old shack. So this one's giving you a little bit of a sloping roof. And sort of having, you know, a couple of people at the front there. It says that once you go there, you're not going to leave. The Contagion House, which is in a bottle, which is really different. And of course, look, it's getting out. The Nomad House, which has got a little bit of a curve to the roof there, which is really nice. And then we've got the Micro Town on the Moon. So just a little one there. And that takes us to the end where we've got the pumpkin. So you could put this and mix that any way you sort of want to do. So I think let's have a look actually. Let's do the tall tower, being that I've got the instructions here. I'm not going to go through how to colour them, anything like that. I'm just going to show you how to draw them, because I think that's the point at where we sort of not struggle so much, but we'd like a little bit more help. Okay. So we've got the first picture. I know it looks a bit pale, but that's because it's been drawn in pencil, but it shows you underneath. So let's have a look. I'm going to follow this so you can see exactly what you need to do if you've got yours. So a horizontal line for the base. So you could use your stencil for that. Up a little. I'm just going to go up a little bit. There you are. And let's draw a horizontal line for the base. Now these sort of shapes, they'll fit a 5x7 card, so you could go up to A5, that kind of size. So they're not huge, so it sort of works. Okay, shape number 55. So that's in this one. Look, here we go, 55. Now, looking at this one, it could be either way, couldn't it? Doesn't matter. Now, if you look at my picture there, mine's sort of this bit of a kink is actually there, but honestly, it doesn't matter. You can use it anyway. Just want something that's a bit of a different shape. So I'm going to do it that way. Here we go. So put number 55 in. I'm going to press on a little bit harder so it makes it a little bit clearer on the camera. Okay. And then it says 42 on the top. So 42. Here we are, 43, 42, okay, on the top. Now, again, look at the picture when you do these things, because you'll notice, if I just zoom in a little bit, that it shows that the roof is slightly inside that first shape. And of course, you can angle it whichever way you like. And looking again, it's different on both sides. So again, you can choose which way it goes. What I'm going to do then, I'm going to remove that little bit there, and I'm going to put that in. So there's my roof, okay? So then it says U-shape number 28, a little further along to the left to create the gate. So 28 is on the other stencil. Just keeps you looking, see, 25, 26, 27, 28, there it is, look, 28, the gate shape. Okay, so let's move my rubber. So again, you can decide how far away it goes. Looking at the picture, you see it's not a massive distance, but your choice, okay? There it is. Let's draw the gate in. So we've got the main building and we've got the gate. So that's step one. All right. Step two now shows that we're going to double up inside here. So you can go inside or outside, but we want a little bit of a frame there going around. Again, I'm sticking with pencil. And then we also need a door and a window. So looking at the instructions again, it's saying use number 51. So, okay, we're back to this one, 51. There it is, 51. So let's put the door in first. Again, I'm going to go sort of in the middle for this. And then up the top here, it's showing me that it's in between the roof space and the building. Same shape. Let's get rid of that. And let's put that one in. Okay, so far, that's what we've got. It does say as well in step two, we need a little bit of a hinge here. So whether you use the edge of your stencil or you do it freehand, I'm going to put myself a little rectangle there, I see, and put a little curve on the top. Okay, you notice how it's joined, it's completely together with that. It's not over the top, it's right next to it. So that gives me that little bit. So step two. Step three then talks about some of these shapes inside here. So before we draw it, let's just mark. That's about the middle, look. And then I need one either side. And that's going to give me my positions to put these next shapes in. So I'm going to go slightly to the side of each of those lines. You see, like around there? Put that in. And then, again, looking at the picture, the lines are slightly all different sort of sizes, different heights. So that's what I've got there. All right. That gives me that bit. So step three, already done and sorted. Step four, we've already drawn that line inside. We've done the frame. So step five, draw a window further along to the left. So we've got to put another window along here, and it suggests number 65. Now, if you wanted to do something different, see there's 65, you don't have to use the same ones as me. Okay, you can use one of the others. There's plenty. And I don't use every single shape on the stencil in all the instructions. Okay, so there it is. And then we've got to do a little bit of freehand here. This is where you think, oh my goodness, but we've got structure to work within. So what I'm going to do is come in with some sort of, let's have a look, some brick shapes. But on purpose, I want them all to be different. And again, I can follow the picture, but do your own thing as well. That needs to be joined to that, so it looks a little bit hinge-like. And then underneath here, I'm going to put a couple in, like that. It's kind of a ruins, so it's not got to be completely straight. And again, you can go as wide or as long as you want to go with it. Let's put Another one sort of here. So it was once a nice brick wall, but time's had its sort of way with it. And off we go. So see, a few little bricks. I'm going to extend this idea over here. So it's going to come in with those lights. And they can be all different sizes. Don't think they've got to all match. You can have some that are sort of falling over each other. See, that one's going to hang over there. Let's have one there. It used to be a brick wall. But again, how far sort of do you want to go up? So the story with this, the tall tower, it's the entrance to Halloween Hollow. And it is said that it was lovely once, shiny walls, grand entrance, which this was part of, that entrance. But however, you know, no grass, anything like that anymore. There was a caretaker, but he left quite a while ago. And there's bars in the windows, which we've not got round to doing yet. But he did arrive with his wife, and he left without her. So, why are there bars up in this top window? That's one of those sort of stories that people tell. Who knows? Okay. See, we've got this sort of rough, kind of broken down wall going on there. So, all right, next little bit then. Let's have a look. We're going to put a bit of shape in here now. So, let's have a look. The rooftop here. You see, if I come to this point here, what I'm going to do is put a curve underneath. Pretend it's going under and bring it out there. Okay, so it's a little bit more 3D. And then inside the window, we're going to double up those lines that we did beforehand. And across there. And I'm going to put a little rectangle underneath. That's going to give it its ledge. But again, don't have to do that with lines or a straight line, because it's nice to have something a little bit wonky going on in it. And then the door, I'm going to go around the outside of the door. And again, I'm going to make it a little bit wonky. Okay. Now, it doesn't say this in the instructions to do this, but being that we've got rocks all the way around, let's put some, there's a keystone in there. Let's sort of put some bricks around the shape. Right, that gives it a little bit more of this is the entrance, isn't it? Right, sort of in keeping with the rest of it. And then I'm going to turn it slightly. Excuse me a second. Here we are. Let's go back out again. Because what I need to do now is I want to put some lines here. Now, they're not going to be straight. We're going to have a slight curve because the shape itself is sort of spherical. And if we put straight lines in, it's going to look sort of flat, and we don't want that. So you see I've got some little curves in there. And then turning it back this way, I'm going to put some lines sort of down that way, so it looks like it's sort of made of bricks. But again, I don't want that. You see that? I don't want that. I've lost my rubber. We don't want two lines above each other like that, because that's not how bricks work. Okay, so far so good. It does sort of show here that on I've got a little, oh, so here, yeah, I've got this little line. I'm going to put a little sort of bobble on the top. Now, you can do this freehand, or you can find one of the shapes to do it for you, but you see I've got a little rectangle in there, that's so. And then on the top, I'm going to put like a bobbly shape. With a little one on the top. It's going to sort of give it its lantern kind of feel. Okay, so that takes us to step 6. We've got the sort of the roof in, we've got the frames in. Oh, you see here, look, it's showing extra sort of lines either side. So let's just go ahead and put them in. They're quite a bit smaller, so one in there. Look, let's do a small one there, like that. And that takes us all through the first page. Let's have a little look at that. So let's turn this over. Looks good, doesn't it? It doesn't even have to be a ruins if you want it to. You could have these all the way up to the gate, and you could put, you know, depending on what colours you used, you could work on it. See now, look, it's all in pen. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to carry on with pencil because, of course, rubbing things out. But look, it's got a frame in here now. And see the roof? How it's sort of changed to sort of follow the window shape. So let's do that. First things first, in we come with the shape there. Okay, next little bit then. So looking at my roof, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it up and follow the shape around there. If I remove the little bits underneath, like so, you see you've got the shape there that's now following around the top. So that's sorted with that one. And then our next little job comes to our little gate here. Let me just zoom in. All right. It's really nice coming back and doing these stencils because I don't always get the chance to spend some more time with them. So I hope you're finding these videos useful. All right, let's make that into more of a shape there. And of course, once this is darker, that'll all fit it. But then we want some little bits of detail in here. So I'm going to start in this shape here and along there. I mean, is there any one of these particularly that you would like me to show next? And I'm quite happy to sort of go through any of you sort of need them. So, okay, so see, it's going to sort of stop there. So what I'm going to do is start to sort of do sort of like little bits of it. So it starts to sort of fade and disappear. And then looking at our next little piece here, we've got a similar thing. See, I'm going to start here, but I'm going in the opposite direction to the first one. And then working my way up. Now remember, these are done in pencil, so if you think, oh, I need to sort of make them a little bit neater, then you could do that later. But you see how they sort of start to lose their detail as you go further up. And same with this one, like, so this is going to be even sort of less. And then this one here. And it depends just how much you've moved these lines up as to where it goes, like that. Let's have some bars on the window here. So remember me saying that they don't all have to be nice and neat. So let's have some sort of quite rickety, as though they've somebody's gone up the tower from the outside and put these bars across quite quickly. Well, just to stop somebody getting out there. Look at that. Okay. But at the bottom, a nice sort of little door knocker there. That gives us that little bit. Okay. So it also, in the image, rather than just having a straight edge here, it sort of gives us a little bit of pathway kind of starting. Or it could be sort of water. You know, you could decide that this is a little bit of a design or the tower on the water, but I'm just going to put a bit of ground in there because this line will sort of break up, see, and will disappear. Let's do that now, actually. Do you know, my rubber is so little, I keep losing it. Let's just get rid of that kind of line there that we started. Remember, that was only to help us with that brick wall and such like. Let's put a line there. See how it's sort of, they're coming round now and creating a bit more of a rickety. See, bring that one a bit slightly more forward. And put those little shapes in. Okay, that's that bit done. So once we've got all this in place, there's suddenly appeared a little bit of a pencil line. Here we go, look. See there? So number 9, and it says, use shape number 5 to form the tree trunk behind the wall to the left of the gate. You may raise it a bit so it can be seen over the wall. Now this depends, of course, on how tall your wall is. So let's have a look at shape number 5. Here it is. Where we go? 3, 4, 5. Shape number 5. Now we've got 2 here, so you could use number 4 if you wanted. But let's see what number 5 does, and it sort of sits behind here. Now, it doesn't have to be flat on the ground. We can have it lifted slightly to suit. We just need this shape. Okay, so let's put it sort of there, and I'm going to draw those bits in. And put that in. Now, on the picture, it shows that it's facing the other way, but you see, it doesn't really matter. We just needed that shape to help us, okay? And in this bit here, we're going to put a tiny little rectangle with a little flame, like a little candle in there. All right, so it looks like somebody is maybe home, but not really. Okay, drawing trees then. Now, these can be really weird because we see trees every day, or mostly every day, but actually trying to draw one is really tricky because you don't really see it, you see a load of everything. So when I'm drawing trees, the easiest way I find is to turn it upside down and actually pull out the sort of the lines. Let's do it towards you, keep them a little bit wavy. Yeah, let's do one this side. Okay, then let's have one coming off here. Then we need a few in the middle, look. All right, so we've sort of got a bit of structure there. I know definitely I need one coming over there. So let's turn it back round. See, we've got the start of our little tree there. So let's zoom in a little bit and have a look at that. So from here, see, this one's just sort of stopped in midair. Let's bring it down a bit, and then it's going to go to dots and dashes because that's how we're going to fill our trunk. See here, looks sort of stopping there. Maybe fill that one in. Okay. Coming on the edge. Now, rather than holding your pencil here, if you hold it further up, it's going to mean that you're going to get a slightly wavier line. You see, it's quite thin. It's almost like a little flick off the end. And along, see, like so. You can make as many or as few as you want. And again, you can put leaves on and things like that. But being that it's a little bit haunted, we're going to sort of leave it at that. Okay. So with that all done and sorted out in that sense, all we'd have to do then is draw it out with pen and add a little bit of shade in places, and you've got your house. As I say, I'm not going to particularly colour it because it's all about how to draw them. So that's the first one, which is the, let me go look, the tall tower. So, okay, let's move on to another. So let's go into the main booklet here. And, okay, I say, I think we've done mushrooms quite a bit. So how about looking at, I don't know, let's look at this house because it's got this different shaped roof in there and see what we can come up with that one. So let's find that in here. That's the shack. That's the Contagion house. Here we go. Look, the Nomad cottage. So, again, it starts from complete beginning where you've got 2 shapes. And just as before, if you wanted to, put yourself a horizontal line in. Doesn't say that here. It doesn't necessarily need it because we're very quickly going into doing some steps. But if you need to, just to give you a hand, we can do that. So here we go. Let's just drop one in. Now this is not going to be at the bottom because, as I say, we've got steps and it's got a bit of a garden. Let's just put it up there for now. So just a quick look at the picture. You see, it's got a little bit of a sort of a patio and it's got a bit of a garden, so you need to leave some space underneath it. Okay, so first instruction says 56 and 54. So here we go, look, 56, and where's our 54? It's around somewhere. 58 there, 54. See this sort of shape. So I'm going to turn it round because the whole thing looks upside down. 56, there it is. Now you notice it's on the wonk rather than being straight, your choice, and each side is a slightly different shape, so it's entirely up to you which way round it goes. So there we are, right. And then here's our little roof space. And again, I'm going to put it so it's slightly going over the last shape. Let's just put that in for now because the next few steps show that. There it is. Doesn't look like much at the minute. Right, use shape 53 along the bottom. So what I've done here, look, I've given you a shape that's got some perspective in it. So if I line that up, now again, rather than it being right at the bottom of the shape, I'm moving it up a little bit. So I'm just going to remove those lines. And then it's coming around sort of like it's actually sitting on the shape, see? So you've got slight little bits. And at this point, I am going to get rid of that horizontal line now. We don't need that. All right, so this is where we're at. This is step 2. Step 3 wants a little rectangle under here. So, of course, I've not given you a shape for that, although you could use this one to put the line further down, but your decision as to how tall that step is. Okay, there's my step. So our next little bit, number 4, draw the door. So it suggests number 59 for the door, so let's have a look. So, okay, we're here somewhere 57, there's 59, right there at the top there. So I'm going to put this in. I'm going to put it in where it sort of suggests. Put in the middle. And then it also asks you to put a step in there. So it's almost like drawing one of those little window ledges. You put your step in. There you go. All right. Then we've got some steps to sort of deal with. And here we go. So number 5, it says draw in more steps in the middle of the patio. Start with the horizontal lines to join them with slight angles. So here we've got a couple. So let's do this then. So let's do one. So this is going to be like joined to here. And then I'm going to put a rectangle like this, which is going to be like that one. So I'm not going to join those lines yet. But how do I decide what angle to do them? Now, I'm not going to have them this big because it shows just having them in the middle. So let's have a look at this here. There. You see that angle? Now, if you wanted to, you could bring your stencil back in because we've got that angle there, and I'm going to bring it up. There we go. To where, you see, so it's sort of there. Let's have a look then. I'm going to put my angle in. One there. That's a bit curled, but that's okay. And one there. Oh, sorry. Should have been there. One there and one there. All right, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. So that's that one. So that's that one there, look. And then that's the rectangle. There we go. And then I'm going to take that angle again. And that angle again. Join that, and there it goes to the patio. And then this angle here, this angle here, and there's my last step. Okay, let's get rid of those lines. All right, and let's get rid of that one in there as well. So that gives me my doorstep, and it gives me some quite elaborate steps leading down the centre of the patio there. So that gives me that. Next little bit then is putting some windows in. So step 6, it says shape number 49 and 66. So again, we're coming back to our stencil here. 49 is here. And looking at my sort of my image there, it's showing one of these windows on either side. And let's put that one in there. And that one in there. So I'm just doing that by eye. They don't have to be exact, but you can do that if you want to. And what was the other number? 66. There's a round shape. There we are. There we are. So 66, it wants it to be sort of in this upper roof. Okay, so looking at my picture, it's sort of in there. And around. In you go. So that gives me that. So if we just have a quick look at what we've got here, number 6, there it is, look, the roof. There's that circle shape. There's my windows, my door, and there's my steps going in. So now on to number 7. And this is where we start to see a change in the roof, because it curves here and it curves here. So follow the shape round. I don't know if you need to use a circle to draw around to give you that bit of a shape. That helps too, but we're doing it in pencil, so that's fine. Okay. And then to give me the extra space, what I want to do is I'm going to go round the top of this shape here. So I'm coming off here and round to join that there. And the same here, look, off there, around and into there. Okay, so that gives me that shape. If I remove these lines now, let's have a look at these. There we are. So my sort of house, or the main section's still going in there, but it's got this sort of funny little hat shape on the top. Okay, so that takes me up to step 10. Oh, sorry, step 9. Step 10, and asks me to put in a line. Now, I'm not drawing a straight one. It's a slight curve, but it has to touch on here. You see? It's got to touch on the patio floor. Same on, oh, sorry about that. I have to have a drink. Same on the other side, see? Join that. So this could look like a little, like a tent almost, couldn't it? Or an awning. So I'm going to double that line up. One here. And one here. As we get one again, I'm going to remove those lines on the inside. So far so good. And I'm going to turn it to one side, because the next sort of task is about putting some shapes in, or some curves along the roof, and it's just easier at times to it, I say, vertically rather than horizontally. They don't all have to be perfect, but you see how they work their way up to give you that shape there. All right, good to go. And just as we did before in the tower, I'm going to put some lines, sort of quite random, along. They don't have to be perfectly straight. They can be a little bit rickety. That's the beauty of certainly this particular stencil set, as they can be all slightly wobbly, like so. Okay, so let's just have a little look at that. There we are. See how you've got those little lines in. This is step 13, and it also shows that we've got a little bit of sort of design or feature going on around the doorway and on the step. So let's double up this line here. Now I'm going to go inside, your choice, to put those lines in, and then little lines around the edge, one side. Notice I've started at the top and I'm working my way around each side. Okay, and then it's also got that kind of thing going on the step as well. So that gives me that. All right, again, so far so good. It's not looking too bad. So our next little bit, again, it's a little bit of freehand, is I'm going to start with a bit of a curl here, because what's going to happen with that curl, it's going to come up underneath there, look, and around there, like so. So let's darken that line up a bit. And then it's going to go underneath and then back around. Underneath and back around. So we've got this kind of swirly shape going on. Let's add another little curl on the top there. Now the thing with this is, if I was to say you've got to mirror image this on the other side, doing these curves just wouldn't happen. So I'm not going to look at that one. Okay, let's just ignore that one. And let's do something similar on this side. So I know it's going to come down here. So let's put a different curl in. See? Now I know I've faced it different ways. But again, it's going to go underneath, over, underneath, over, underneath, over. And then let's have another curl going there. Okay? So we know they're different, but we've done that on purpose. So that's that little bit done. We can then do a little bit of stuff in the garden. So first thing, it shows one of the sort of gravestones. So we've got this size, which is our 39, 40, 46, and we've got this size as well. So working in these, you see this one, if I was to use that, is that a little bit big? Maybe, maybe not. It's, again, your choice. But for number 16, it says number 46. So it is giving me the smaller option. So let's put that down here. And it's going to sort of be not dead straight, but a slight angle. I'm going to rub out that bit behind it. Okay. And put that in. Now, if you put them on an angle, don't worry about it. See, it's a little bit wonky there. If you put a little bit of land underneath it, see a few little wavy lines. Job done, isn't it? Okay. So on the inside, I'm going to put a little bubble. Let's go in a little bit for this. And then I'm going to put a couple of lines, see, going down there. And a couple going that way, like so. And then I'm going to join the lines together, like that. See, I could come that way a little bit, but that gives me the idea. And then across the top, it's got 1162. Apparently that was a good year. I don't know, I wasn't there. And 1227. All right, and then underneath, it's got the letters as so. So that's our first one. So working from that one, it then goes back to the house, and it's just how we've sort of done that shape there. I'm going to do something similar here to give us a little bit of a set of window panes in there. It's different having a round window, isn't it? I've never lived in a house that's got a round window. Okay. And then inside here, let's sort of double up on that shape. Same on that one. I'm just going to add that bottom bit there. And in these ones, it's just a line straight down the middle. But again, you can put any window pane in you like. You can have little ledges, whatever you want to do with it. But this one's sort of left it at that point. And then from there, we've got that one. Just a little bit of like a wooden effect on the door. So sort of wavy lines, giving us little planks, like so. Gives it a little bit of a feature. Okay. So our next bit, let's have a little look. Let's go out and bring the instructions in for a minute. You see, this is where we're at the minute, and it shows like where we've got those little steps in. It's made sure it's got the shapes in there. We're going to sort of across by the roof. We've got this sort of curly shape going on. So let's have a look at that. Comes from about here, and it sort of does a couple of loops, and a slightly larger one with a bobble on the end. And inside this one, it's got a bit of a swirl. Yeah. And then it shows each one, similar swirl. Now at this point, I would usually come in straight away with pen, because there's no point doing certain little lines like that and details and then coming back in with it. This may be if you feel that you need a little bit, but certainly once you've got that, you could do these sort of swirls with a pen. That's fine. All right. So that takes us to that one. And then we've got a little bit of a design feature sort of on here. So let's just zoom in a bit and let's have a look. It sort of gives you like a little bit of a, here we go, a little bit of a guide for how to do these. So let's start with one and let's bring it sort of on here. This is what it's sort of coming around this shape here. And it's a little line with a bobble. Then a line with a bobble facing this way. And then I'm going to sort of take this kind of a curve follow it round and bring it back round. Yeah, and we've got a few of those, so let's bring one out like here. So line with a bobble, line with a bobble, and then I'm going to draw it round like so. So they can all go in different ways. Follow it round, and of course if you wanted to change the shape slightly, you could, as you're going around, you could go up and make it pointed if you wanted. But you notice how it's sort of coming from that bobble shape there. So as much as you think I'll just go from there, follow the curve. I always find it gives you a slightly better result if you do that. It makes you sort of get into that mode of a curl or a curve and around. And this one and around. Okay, so that's how you would do that little design. You see how that's sort of working? Okay, let's move out a little bit. And let's have a look. So here we've got, I would do that on both sides, of course, and it's showing here just that one because it's asking you to do something different down here now. So number 23, it says, freehold 3 oval shapes, one inside the other, but not centrally. Each one goes a little higher. Okay, so we've got this. Now, I don't sort of specify size there. I don't say do it at centimetre or 2. But if you have a look at where it's going, you can see they're not massive. And looking at, compared to where it is with that gravestone, it's not huge. So a little bit of proportion here. So, okay, let's go in and have a look at this. So it's sort of, first one is about here. So let's do it. Bit of an oval shape. All right. And then if I just remove that bit of step, so we don't want it to be too confusing there. And then we've got to do 2 more, but they're not in the middle. It's slightly higher than it is at the bottom there. And again, slightly higher. You see, so that is wider than that, and that is wider than that. It gives us that shape. So again, there's going to be a few more of those dotted around, different sizes, but I'm just going to do one so you can see what I'm going to do with it. So around the outside, okay, doesn't matter which way you go with this, I'm going to put curves in. Well, you see, follow it round. Curves. Yeah. And then if I round it slightly, so see at the minute I'm just going over the top, you see, and then the same underneath. See, it gives me sort of like that little shape around the edge. And then on the inside one, just so we can clear it, put a little bobble and fill it with ink. Doesn't matter where that little bobble is. And then same sort of thing, I'm going to put my curves in like that. And that gives me a little bit of a detail in the middle. So then however you want to sort of shade it, have little extra details. But they're quite close to the ground, these, so I'm just going to put a little stem in there. Some of them don't even have a stem, but they're all quite low. So you can put as many or as few in. I mean, if you wanted to, you could even sort of go higher. And this isn't in the instructions, but, you know, you could do them wherever you like, really. And let's put those ovals in. And you could have one sort of sitting at the back there, that kind of thing. So that gives you that kind of shape. And if I actually look at the instructions here we go. I'll say, we've just got to do this little bit. But see, we've got, there's our little gravestone. We've got those sort of little flowers going up the side there. Got a little bit of an extra detail, just a few little lines around the window. This, I'll show you that a little bit in a minute, but you see where the flowers sort of sit along there. Okay. All right. So working on that little bit there is, that's done, is these. We've just got to give this a little bit more of detail. So if I start sort of about halfway up, and what I'm going to do is follow the lines, but at the bottom, I'm going to curve it slightly, like that. Now, again, They don't have to be perfect because, you know, this is an old building. But what we don't want is perfect sort of shapes around the bottom edge. So wave them off a little bit, you see? Look at the difference between that one and that one there. And then that one. So sort of just curving those bottom edges. And because they're all sort of interlocked, should work okay. And then here, right at the bottom, I'm going to curve that one round. And that one. Around there. Along into that one. And into that one. So you see how it all filters. The difference is crazy when you look at it. So if I just sort of come in and do those last little ones, and then we're almost there. We've just got that last little step. I hope this is giving people a little bit more confidence when they come to try one of these stencils. And I don't want you to worry so much about not following it exactly. You know, it's going to be your drawing, so that's fine. How along we go. And into that one. Okay, let's have a little look at that. See? So here my shape. See, this is quite close to the roof there, but rather than keep that shape, if you want to, you can always pull it down and make it a little bit wider at the top. You see, I've sort of changed it slightly. It just makes it look as though it's slightly more realistic there. And underneath, I'm going to add a little bit of darkness. Again, not necessarily in the instructions, but you can add things if you need to. So last little bit then, on the sort of the top of the roof, on this little section here, we've got some little bits of foliage. So if I bring one out, I'm going to come from here, like so. Let's go in a little bit. And I'm going to put a loop on the top. And then I'm going to start here, loops. Now don't go too small there, because what you're going to be doing is getting smaller and smaller as you work your way down. So you can leave a gap like this, or you can join them together. But if you want to leave the gap and put little bubbles in, I know we've done that before on a design, but you can change and swap around if you want to. And that's going to have a few of those sort of kicking around. And again, entirely up to you how many you want to put in. I would most definitely draw these in with pen. I would never sort of come in with this and do all this detail with pencil and then pen afterwards. I'll probably have a few more, see, lying around in that direction. So if I just bring that picture back in, here it is. 1 second. There it is. So there you've got a few sort of there, one going behind, and you've got a couple here. There's one there at the bottom as well. So that gives you everything there that you sort of need to do. So that's given you 2 different designs. They all work in a very, very similar manner. So if we're looking at a contagion house, we've got the 2 shapes and you're going to join them, see, to create that little cork top. But the house on the inside, again, look, you've got 2 shapes connected together, works the same. To give you that point, look, it's coming just out slightly, and then it shows you how you put them together. Windows, and then your little octopus kind of guy. It starts as a wavy line. It builds until you've got doubles, and then you see, you've got your little sort of tentacles there with little bobbles on. So that one works pretty much the same. The old shack, again, same sort of thing. Look, you've got your main shape. This time you're sort of drawing the rooftop in there, but here you've got an extra bit connected, or it will be connected. Roof again, see how they connect there, and then you join them together. So again, very similar. You've got a lovely little cat on this one here, on one of the gravestones, and then show you here how to do a very tiny little bat, because they are tiny, look. So that's giving you something slightly more 3-dimensional, but you don't want them all completely flat. The Scream House, or the asylum, look, similar thing, look, base, roof, windows. Now you know how to sort of do those stairs. Oh, Sherry, no, haven't you? Oh, shall we just do a quick, I'll just do a quick from the beginning then. So, oh my goodness, if you've not seen this one, where have you been? The stories continue. The coffin house, owned by Vlad. His partner takes care of the daily chores, weeding out the flower heads and chasing the cats away. But nobody's seen coming or going, so he doesn't come out till after sunset. So there's our coffin house. Let's just sort of look at all these different plants. Work our way along. There you are. That's the coffin house. We've then got, oh goodness, oh bless me, the lockkeeper's cottage. This is a delightful place on the surface, but it's got a bit of a little sort of trickle of water, although is it really water? So it's sort of a neon green. And here are, look, so we've got a bit of a rickety stairway going down. We've got a bit of a tunnel. I wonder where the tunnel leads. It does tell you. And then you've got water going on underneath. And that leads into, you know, here's the contagion starting to come into Halloween Hollow. It's, yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely, Wendy. I mean, you don't have to make these sort of Halloween-y if you don't want to. They're just fun little houses in their own style. If you changed the doorway here, maybe, and straighten the roof off, it wouldn't look as much as like a scream. And of course you've got information on how to draw the trees, which is good. And of course your little lanterns. It could be a lovely little summer cottage, couldn't it, that, with some trees in the background in the forest. The asylum, same kind of thing. It's got some really nice little, I'll say large flowers, like little Venus flytrap kind of things. So that's kind of nice. But again, you know, that could be a little sort of you know, fairy house if you wanted it to be. We've just talked about the old shack. We've talked about the contagion house, which is, of course, you see these in and around. The nomad house is the one we've just done. And then you've got the micro town on the moon. A really sweet little thing there. Let's just turn it over. There we go. A one on the moon. And then, of course, you've got the pumpkin, which he's quite sinister. He does wander around nicking the kids' sweets. But again, in its own right, it shows you how to go from complete scratch to draw that little pumpkin. And then in the back there, you've got little pictures showing you. See, that's the one we've done earlier. And then, of course, we've done this one as well. So it gives you a little bit of a hint into everything. So hopefully by doing, as I say, those two, it gives you a little bit of an insight. And yeah, go back and do them. Change the colours up. You'll notice on the front, it does show you the backgrounds. These are the background stencils that work alongside. Look at that coming out there. It's lovely. The pumpkins and things. But you can do all sorts. This is actually from Locket Lane, the fireflies, the spots there. But, you know, you can mix and match, do whatever you want to do with it. So hopefully that's given you, say, a bit of an insight, a little bit more confidence to have a go at drawing some of these. Two very different sort of places, but yeah, they work in pretty much the same way. And just have a go and see what you come up with. So, okay, with that all done and sorted, thank you ever so much, everybody, for staying with me and watching that. And please think that if you want to, you can come back and refer to this video. It's not going to go anywhere. You can sort of watch it. You can shut me up and you can watch it at your own pace. So have a lovely weekend, what's left of it, everybody. And I will catch you soon. All right, take care then. Bye.